Hey guys, we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. So, instead of, a normal Let's Play style video, we are going to be doing something I like to call frozen fishes. What that essentially means is I am going to sit here and fish. Yes, that's literally what I'm going to do. I am going to sit here and fish. Now, the point of frozen fishes isn't to annoy you guys with fishing. It is to talk about a variety of random topics that people ask me all the time. Everything from why do I hate the plains of Eidolon to why I feel new players are getting the short end of the biscuit in Warframe. Now, these topics are voted on you, as well as how well my fishing skills are voted by you. I am terrible at fishing. Now, this is going to be the first topic of this, let's call it a season. We're going to try to do one of these about a week. But, life gets busy, can't always do it. But, well, let's get right into it. So, whatever you guys want to hear me ramble about for 15-20 minutes, topics, opinions, different builds, how to run certain things, whatever you guys want to hear, just comment it down below. I will pick what I like the most or what I feel I can give a good 15 minutes on. But today we are going to start with a topic I think we all need to talk about, and that's how things in Warframe are changing. So I am not a new player. I was there when we were helicoptering around. I was there when raids first came out, which was annoying. And more importantly, I was here after the changes to the master ranking systems. Now, yes, there have been a ton of them, but I mean more specifically the most recent ones. Changing all of the low-level gear around. And as much as things change, things continue to stay the same, don't they? Very much like War, and just to quote Fallout, a lovely game, it doesn't change. New players in Warframe have always gotten kind of the short end of the stick. Now, you may be asking me, how do you mean? And I'll tell you, after I throw this bait in. You have to wait. No, I'm not stalling for time at all. So, at the beginning, it was a confusing map. Yeah, it was confusing. New players didn't have that much of advantage, but they weren't at the same kind of disadvantage they are now. Yes, the mastery rank system has always locked out certain, high tier weapons from lower ranking players. But what they've started doing is shifting it all around. What we used to use at a low level, let's say, here's a good example, the Lex. The Lex used to be a weapon you could buy at Mastery Rank 1. And yes, Lotus, I will hurry up when I feel like hurrying up. Quiet you. No, the Lex used to be a weapon you could buy at, let's say, Mastery Rank 1. It was 50,000 credits, but you could easily go and get that in a matter of like 10 minutes if you really wanted to. It was not a big deal. But the significance of the Lex for a newer player was it was a slow firing handgun. Yeah, it was. You didn't need to throw any fire rate on it or anything like that to make it, usable. All you had to really do to a Lex was just up the damage, the impact, and perhaps modify the magazine. And you would have a Lex that, for the most part, you could go into level 50 missions and just be just fine as a low level player. So that was a saving grace for them. More importantly, the Tigris was unlocked at a lower level. You could grab that and easily go in and have some fun. Fun weapons like the Tigris, the Lex, even some of the primes. I don't know their exact names anymore. But there are a lot of weapons now that they can't use simply because they've upped the master rank. Now, yeah, there's still a ton of other weapons out there. The comb unlocks at rank 4. I think we all know the comb is just an ungodly powerhouse of damage. The Karak unlocks pretty low, it's usable. The Vectis is pretty usable. Now, most of the weapons I just listed, not all, but a good portion of them, a good portion of what they can use now requires plastids. Now, has anybody stopped to wonder what missions give plastids? Pause for a second here and let you think about that. Nothing. Okay, you got an answer for me? Oh wait, this is a video. No, the only things that give plastids these days are things past the first 3 planets that new players can easily get to. Because to get out of those first 3 little planets and get onto Mars, I believe, you have to kill Trinity. Which may not seem significant. I mean, Trinity's pretty squishy, but the way she's set up in those fights, she immediately pops her Link, and a new player built completely just for damage immediately one-shots himself. Gets frustrated and frustrated and frustrated trying to kill this damn Trinity, and eventually leaves the game because they feel like there's no progression. And they can't get past that. Now, that's not a big problem. There are new players all the time asking for, carries to different things, different planets, carries for plastids. But the problem there is most mid-rank players don't want to take them on them. Because for us, it's not a significant reward. Yeah, we're helping somebody. But for the most part, I don't know many players that actually would take a newbie on their stuff to get the plastids. And let me kill these guys, and then I will regain my train of thought. Because these guys are somewhat distracting. There we go. That's much better. Most mid and higher ranking players these days just don't want to go on those low level missions. We're more apt to going on things like ESO, Heracon, a CAD, Hydron. We would rather be there. There's nothing for us there. Most of us have stockpiles of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of plastids at this point. And plastids is only one reference. Polymer bundles is another one, though with polymer you can easily get it at a lower rank. But I'm essentially saying here is not that the game is broken. What I'm saying is new players are being more forced to interact with players, on the higher end and players that have access to this stuff than they have been before. A new player before could easily go all the way up to 25 and not need the assistance of anyone. And I'm not saying that's not still doable. It is. But for the most an average player, they're going to get frustrated long before they get past level 10. If they're lucky, level 5. And I don't think that's the community we want anymore here, guys. I don't think we want a community that outright blatantly just disrespects their new players. The system is already difficult to understand. The modding system, the modding system, let's just take a brief second on that. And this frozen fish is turning more into Frozen Dust Combat. Not as enjoyable to me. I would much rather be fishing. Oh, hi, mister. Yes. As I was saying, Frozen does not want to do combat right now. Goodbye. I am fishing. No. What was I saying again? Yeah, the game's not broken. It is simply pushing players to go into a different area. You're pushing them to need the assistance of higher level players to get through that. And yes, granted, it is possible to do Trinity and any of the other Rail Spectres to actually advance on your own. That is perfectly doable. It's easy enough just to go into do fissures, get some decent gear, and push forward on your own. But how many new players do you know, just off the bat of your head, know where to get primes from? How many players know what modding is? How many players know how to get relics? Can you even recall a player that knows how status works? The game's not broken. The game is delightful in itself and in what it does. And it has created a kind of an environment that it's not easy on new players. It is now harder than ever to get into Warframe. With the release of the Sacrifice and Melee 3.0 coming, it is harder for a person to get into Warframe than it ever has before, simply because the systems you need to understand are difficult to grasp on your own. So us, as veterans, I want to say, veterans, people that just know what we're doing, we need to be there to help and guide these new players. Yes, it's easy to get annoyed and frustrated when you're being bombarded by 100 to 200 questions. I know. I'm a clan leader. I have 1,000 youngings that sit there not knowing what to do and will message, the top of the clan and just be like, hey, how do I get this resource? Yeah, it's annoying. But we need to try to not be annoyed. Give them our ear and do our best to work to help them enjoy the game. Because when people stop coming in, this game dies. And I, for one, do not want to see the day that there's a game like this with such a strong community and such a amazing player base and developers that actually seem to care about the community go away. This is not some Call of Duty game where it's built off trolling. We are very much a community that's built off of interacting with each other. So, what I say to you, if you're a clan leader, if you're just a person that likes to sit in recruiting chat and help people, good for you. We need more people like you. We need more people that want to sit there and answer the questions of new players. We need more people that are willing to take new players to get the stuff they need to make it easier for them to get ahead. And not even really get ahead, but get on par with everybody else. It's not that it's hard. The game, the mechanics, the frames, they all take time to get used to. But the problem with a game that takes time to get used to is you have to see something worth having, put the effort into getting used to. And for a new player coming into Warframe for the first time, are we creating the community and the experience that we want to display for these players? And that fish is underground. That's delightful. But to reiterate, is this the type of environment and community we want to have for new level players? People that come in confused as to what is even going on, and only get even more confused by the lack of people willing to help them. People that charge them harder and flat, to be completely honest, for mods that sell for like 5. Don't scam new players, guys, come on. Don't try to get 30 flat for a mod that's worth barely 5. Just because you know it's a new player and they don't know any better. Come on, that's just not fair. I know I've gone off on a tangent here about trading now, but it is a big thing. Don't try to just scam people for the sake of scamming people. That just makes, one party feel like crap that they got scammed out. It makes people less willing to ask for help, and then more willing to leave. So essentially, what I'm saying here on this long tangent, this long frozen fishes, is do your best to help out your fellow Tenno. If you're a new player, step up, start asking for help. Go to your clan leaders, your people that are above Master Rank 15, those people that are 20s, 25s, those guys that are sitting in your clan at the very top. Ask them for help. Ask them their questions. Jump into Discords. Talk with people. Learn the game. And it becomes easy. This is not a hard game. It is hard due to lack of understanding. This game, once you finally understand it, becomes not so much a chore, but I want to say easy, but the word's not easy. It becomes joyful, very enjoyable. It becomes more, and I hate to use this term, but more of a genocide simulator. And yes, that's not the type of phrasing I want to use, but I can't think of a better word. Because you are effectively wiping out entire thousands upon hundreds of thousands of one enemy type, and you are effectively massacring hundreds of people in this game. Simply because you can, and you feel invincible once you finally understand what you're doing. So don't be discouraged. Ask your questions, get your answers, and if you can't, post them down in the comments below. I pay attention to all of my videos. If you need help and you don't have anywhere else to turn, post them here and I will answer them for you. If you like this type of content, guys, if you like to see more of it, subscribe to the channel. We try to post something nice every day for you. I hate to be the guy that begs at the end of YouTube videos, so I'm not going to. And oh boy, could not update account information. But, essentially, be good to each other. Like and subscribe. If you need help, post it down below or talk to somebody that knows what they're doing. Don't be afraid to speak out, and don't get upset with our new players. Do your best to help them. Like and subscribe. Frozen out.